Thank you, Madam Speaker, for giving me this opportunity to contribute to this important debate that support the supplementary estimates for this financial year because of unprecedented occasions that happened within our nation whereby we were not able to see through the enactment of the finance bill, Madam Speaker. But it is good to note and also to let the Kenyans know wherever they are that whatever has been happening within our nation is because of supporting and trying to make sure that we support our budget from our own revenue and also trying to gain our own sovereignty. We don't have to depend mostly on debt, mostly on grants, but making sure that we rise to the occasion of supporting our nation in terms of development, in terms of the recurrent expenditure. And we had looked into all those issues because I sit in the budget committee, Madam Speaker, by making sure that we have also been able to prepare the budget. And at the same time, on the other hand, we have prepared means and ways to raise the revenue to support the budget, Madam Speaker. On that note, tough times call for tough measures, Madam Speaker, and we had to look into it and cut quite a number of development budget so that we can be able to sustain ourselves as a country and make sure that what we can live without, we can be able to remove it from the budget, and what we can't live without, we are able to fund it and support, especially on areas that are supporting our people from the bottom of the pyramid, Madam Speaker. Majority of these issues, we had the issue of JSS, whereby we had looked into it because it supports the education sector of our country, whereby majority of our people can only be able to eliminate and to remove, poverty within our homes is only through educating our family members and fellow Kenyans, so that at least they can be able to gain their confidence and gain, certificates to take them to the next level. We were able to support the JSS education teachers by making sure that we have included, no matter how difficult it is to support them, we decided we have to cut the budget on other areas and make sure that we have money to employ the 46,000 JSS teachers so that we can support our CBC our system of education to make sure that we retain as many students in our school as much as we can. We were able also to allocate money for the coffee cherry fund, whereby we had allocated 4 billion, but because of the difficulties of raising the revenue, we deducted 1 billion from the cherry fund, but we remained with about 3 billion shillings to help our coffee farmers to maintain and to support them to continue doing, the farming for the coffee. It normally have a lot of impact to our economy, Madam Speaker. Part of it is helping us generate, foreign exchange. The moment we exchange our coffee from other countries, we are able to retain and to gain foreign exchange and make sure that our shillings is stronger against the dollar, and we are able to support what we can import and what we can export, and especially on the level of exporting of supporting our export, Madam Speaker. On the same note, we are able to retain money for coolers, milk coolers, Madam Speaker, 2 billion shillings. This will also help our farmers who are able to produce milk so that we can, contain and maintain that milk in a better form and support the milk, the farmers with milk in cooler, Madam Speaker. On that also note, we are able also to maintain. We had put funds for the farmers, for the new KICC, so that every farmer can be able to have what we call minimum guarantee returns and maintain a 50 shillings sale per liter, so that farmer, when you prepare to farm, when you have your cow, depending on the number of liters that you are able to milk every day, Madam Speaker, we are able to make sure that farmer will be able to manage and to plan his income because he's guaranteed that this is the amount of money that he's going to be earning, Madam Speaker. And in that way, we are able to support our local farmers to make sure that we support them. Resources gap become the farmer, and to make sure that he also able to benefit from the amount of money that the new KICC and the KCC are selling to the farmers, to the market, Madam Speaker. On the same note, we have done the school feeding program, whereby it is also very essential, even if there was a lot of politics going on between where the school feeding program is stationed, but we also thought as a committee, we cannot transfer that service to national disaster management. We took it back to the education sector because they have an overview, they have a better program, they have a better things, they have a better... They're able to know how to make sure that they distribute these foods to the people who need them. They have that infrastructure, Madam Speaker. But the moment we transfer this food feeding program to other departments that has no crew, that has no infrastructure in terms of making sure that the food gets to the people at the arid areas, Madam Speaker, we thought it was prudent. We take the money back to Minister of Education. Then the Minister of Education can decide what to do with that, how to distribute and to make sure that our students are able to get food, a lunch in their school, Madam Speaker. On this note, Madam Speaker, we must all agree that no matter whatever is happening within our country, we must come back to our senses and support this economy, Madam Speaker. We don't have any other Kenya. We only have one Kenya, Madam Speaker. Whatever is happening outside here, it is very demoralizing, but we need to tell our fellow Kenyans that whatever we are going to do going forward is to make sure that we manage our resources, prudently. When it comes to the issue of wastage, that the government must be able to deal with wastage conclusively. And I support the president on areas that he decided to do away with. We didn't need to have the office of the first lady, the office of the second lady. Those are the things that we can be able to deduct and to reduce in terms of the costing and support the local manufacturers. And this finance bill, Madam Speaker, because there was a lot of misinformation that was going on, the issue of making sure we support the local manufacturer must be key in this government. The issue of making sure that we protect whatever we can be able to do without importing. We must make sure we put the government money there, inject government resources there, help it to grow. In terms of those industries and those infrastructures, we make sure that the government is able to support the local manufacturers so that we can protect and cushion our Kenya shillings against the dollar, and we can only be able to import the things that for sure we cannot be able to live with, and there are things that we are not producing as a country, Madam Speaker. Supporting local manufacturer is key. Making sure we deal with corruption precisely, and I have heard the president this afternoon saying that we're going to propose some amendments to the Public Procurement Act, Public Finance Management Act, and all those things, so that at least we can make sure that now we look into nitty-gritties of how the public resources are utilized. The issue of making sure, we even deducted 30 billion shillings that was to go to the counties. And we have said it today, that the Senate must be able to do its oversight role as far as the county funds are concerned. There is a lot of corruption and misuse and wastage that is happening within the counties. But they forget these are money that comes from the public, Madam Speaker. We must make sure that we bring the governors to book. We make sure that, the issue of corruption has been dealt with. Let people within 1 or 2, 3 or 4 months, the key issue of corruption, the matter to be taken to court, and then we can be able to see some actions happening of those people who are misusing public resources, Madam Speaker. We are living at tough times, but we must make sure we protect the few resources that we have, and that's what Kenyans are talking about. That is what Kenyans are saying. The little resources you have, make prudent use of it, and make sure that you deal with corruption, the root cause of corruption, as far as this government is concerned. And therefore, I rise to support the Supreme